So, my name is Timothy Erebus, and today I'm going to be presenting to you guys solar sails, which is a part of the space commercialization chapter 9. So, what if I told you about a vessel that could capture the sunlight to move in a similar way in which a sailboat might catch the wind? Now, what if I told you that this craft would have an infinite fuel source with ambitious missions being planned to use it to visit even other solar systems? Well, this actually does exist, and it's called a solar sail. The concept was first written in 1610 by Johannes Kepler, which you will find pictured in the little sail that I provided on screen. It's just hiding over there. Um, so at the time, he really couldn't understand the mechanism of how this idea could become a reality. However, later in time, it was theorized by physicist James Clerk Maxwell, who ended up actually proving it mathematically that sunlight carries momentum, which exerts pressure on objects. So solar sailing uses an existing and almost limitless energy supply from the sun. And let me blow your mind even further. Uh, did you know that if you have a light on you right now, which I'm assuming you would if you're in the classroom, or are you standing in the bright sun, that light is actually pushing you? So on a bright sunny day, the sun is actually exerting about the same force that a feather lying in your hand might exert. Yet we never notice this because even the slightest sense of a breeze could overwhelm our sense of it. So now, since space is a vacuum, this sunlight pressure in space is going to build up and it eventually will lead to accelerating away. So in short, solar sails are extremely low mass, low weight objects that can have shiny and reflective sails, which are extremely large. Picture almost like a kite of reflective material. And so what happens is the sun projects the photons of light, and these photons of light come into contact with the reflective sail and then bounce off. And when it bounces off, it exerts a force, which then in turn will build up acceleration of the craft. So this is absolutely a novel concept because it solves one of the most fundamental limitations of rockets, which is a limited fuel source. So moving into some of like the advantages and disadvantages or limitations of it, it absolutely opens up the solar system to a level of exploration that's just been unheard of until now. And until recently, I mean, solar sails were more of an idea, more than they were something that's being tested on the scale that they are today. But thanks to the advancements of technology, it's really been enabling us to use this technology in actual missions. Particularly, the development of cube satellites and nano satellite technology have made a breakthrough by offering all of the avionics, navigation, cameras, all of that baked into one extremely tiny unit, which aids in the costs and makes it extremely low cost payloads, which are extremely efficient. Some are even the size of a loaf of bread for reference. So a current disadvantage is the fact that they have to use pitch, roll, and yaw as of right now, which makes steering extremely hard and sometimes inconcise. However, it is important to mention though that a lot of projects recently have been working and moving away from necessarily like that kite design that you might have saw in the intro slide that I introduced. They're moving into almost more of like a design where it has like 6 different panels that are all in different directions, and that will provide a greater ability and accuracy steering wise. And ultimately, this is once that technology is developed, that's going to mean very big things for traveling into deep outer space. So I love talking about romanticism and about the potential that solar sails could actually mean for the future. And to be honest with you, as of right now, solar sails could easily offer the best way to reach the outer solar system and even beyond. But as of right now, the technology just isn't there. And we will get there, believe me, but just not right now. Because with distances so great, these crafts, in order to get speed, would need to be flying closer, much closer to the sun than they are now to increase the acceleration and distance they could travel ultimately. And since around the sun, the temperatures are going to be extremely high, you're going to need something that's more lightweight and a very super durable material, which just doesn't exist right now. But some advanced materials that could come along the way would be silicon nitride or silica sails. Now, like I said, these materials don't exist, but they are being developed by certain private companies, which also speaks to the advantage of like commercializing space, having all these private companies innovating. So, in summary, you have an infinite amount of sunlight that's never ending. So, you leave your fuel source on the ground and you continue to sail. So, don't get it mixed up though. Solar sailing is not going to replace chemical rockets. It will not. However, it will allow us to do more than what we could do with chemical rockets alone. This tech is an enabling kind, and it will be incredible for the future of space travel. I really hope you guys enjoyed this presentation today. I'm sorry if it was a bit long, but solar sails is something that is so cool to me, especially when I first learned about it. I was watching a sci-fi movie like 5, 6 years ago, and it just blew my mind away. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and thanks for watching.